Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Phil from Phil's Camping Reviews. Today's video, we're going to talk about a battery pack. ALLPOWERS was kind enough to send me this for review. So I've owned this now for probably about 3-4 weeks now, and I've been testing it and I'm using it every day, guys. Every day I'm using this. I cannot tell you how handy these power packs are. They are a lot better than the early days, the first ones that came out, like I'm talking 8, 9, 10 years ago. I bought a power pack from another company, a different one, not ALLPOWERS, and it was nowhere near the quality of this, and these are brilliant now. And yeah, I cannot thank ALLPOWERS enough to send me this. So what is it? This is a ALLPOWERS R2500. The 2500 equates to its power draw in wattage. So this here will have no problems in powering your induction cooktops, your air fryers, your microwave, etc. Just about everything that you could imagine, almost, that you would want to take camping, this will power. Even a hairdryer. So if you're missus or if you're a lady watching this, you can even power your hairdryer off this, no problem. And in fact, let's grab a hairdryer and give it a shot. I'm just going to plug it in here into the AC input. And if you notice, there's 4 outlets. I said input. My 4 outlets. Let's have a look to see how much power draw this draws. There we go. This is a little portable one, guys, and she's drawing about 304 watts. You could use a conventional, more powerful one, no problems at all with this. So check them out online. ALLPOWERS, I've got these on sale, especially at the time of filming right now, which is late November 2025 here in Australia. There are some big sales going on at the moment, but honestly, if you miss out on one sale, you generally don't have to wait too long for another sale, because they'll have their Christmas sales and their Boxing Day sales and their Easter sales and whatever other reasons there are that they could find to make a sale. So they are an awesome company. Now they did also send me a 200 watt solar panel. Let me go grab that and quickly show you. This thing weighs next to nothing. Very portable. That was a 200 watt solar panel. You can series connect the solar panels together. I'm lucky to own 2 of them. I'm going to run some tests connected in series, charging this fella here. So 3 ways to charge it. You can charge it via AC through your AC port on the side here. You can charge it via solar panel. And you can charge it via a cigarette lighter plug that goes in your car, which I don't believe they are supplied. They supply you with the adapter for solar panel that plugs into the plug here, and you get MC4 connectors onto the solar panels, and which is best connectors really, I think, that you could use for solar panel. A lot of people use the Anderson plugs, but I think when it comes to solar panels, really should consider going with the MC4 connectors. They're a lot better, safer connection, and they are waterproof, which is really important. Not as waterproof as your Anderson connections are. So let's run through a few specs on this fella here. It's a ALLPOWERS R2500. It's got 2018 watt hour capacity. So they rate these not by amps, these are rated by wattage. I know you guys in the camping industry and the 4-drive 12-volt industry, when you come into more high power draws, particularly 240 volts, they generally start rating them in wattages. And it's handy too, because you can get an appliance and on the appliance it'll tell you what it's rated at. Remember, this is 2500 watts and it will peak higher for that few seconds. You will be able to run an aircon off this. How long it'll run for, I don't know. Depends on your aircon. Won't be very long, because as I mentioned, it's got 2016 watts of capacity. So example, if you've got a air fryer that's so happen to be rated at say 1000 watts, then you'll get 2 hours of use out of this. You've got like a cooker or something that's rated 500 watts, you'll get up to 4 hours. Now remember, with these ratings are generally the maximum that that appliance will use. So quite often, example, you've got an air fryer, when you first turn them on, they'll have a brief poof, bit of power, quite draw higher. That can be higher than what they're rated, that's what's stamped on the back. But then once that's turned on, then it'll run at that maximum capacity, say 1000 watts, but then once it heats up, then it just cycles on and off, on and off, on and off. So in fact, it actually, if you equivalent to a 12 volt, if you're cooking something that's 12 volt off your 12 volt batteries, it's generally can be similar power draw loss out of your battery over say something like a 12 volt device, because even though they don't draw as much, they take a lot longer to cook. Especially if you're cooking meat pies from frozen, for example, even sausage rolls, etc., even a roast, like you got your little travel buddies and that 12 volts and all that. I've ran tests over the years and I've found that running something like this with a little 1000 watt air fryer that I've got, and it generally is very similar power consumption, even though it draws more initially, but it cooks a lot quicker. So because it cooks a lot quicker, then it generally uses up the same power. And I've ran tests on that, and you can go back on my videos and see those tests. So I don't want to make this video too long, guys. I'm going to try to keep it short. Okay, maximum joule, 2000 watt joule input. So it can charge in 1 hour. That's if you use your AC and solar at the same time. Maximum 1000 watts solar, so you can get up to 1000 watts of solar panels in this that will charge us in 2 hours. How awesome is that? 15 ms uninterruptible home backup UPS. I know these systems are flogged hard in the YouTube land. Every Joe Blow's getting them and doing videos on them. No one, very few, if you can find anyone, let me know, that mentions that these things can be used as a UPS, Universal Power Supply Unit, a UPS. UPS is very popular for businesses that rely on networking, etc., and so on. So they're a backup system to your electricity. So say you're a business and you've got computers that you rely on, that you must have, otherwise your business just will not exist, and then you lose power, there goes your business. You could be out of power all day. And up here in central Queensland, it can happen a lot, very easy, particularly during our summer months with all the storms and power outages we get. Just the other day, there's like 100,000 homes with no power, and 2 days later, some 20,000 of those homes have still got no power. Now, something like this, you've got your computers plugged in these, as soon as the electricity goes out, boom, the computer, in an instant, that 15 ms, which is very important figure because a lot of them claim they run as a UPS, basically the time how long it takes to convert from 240 volt over to running a 240 volt through the inverter off the battery, because generally most of them take too long, and what happens is it's not clean power going through, and it generally shuts your computer down. So at these type of speeds that they're talking is instant, very fast, and then your computers will not recognize it, will just continue running. So it's as if it hasn't lost any power whatsoever. So remember, these are also a good backup to use as that, UPSs. I'm not gonna run any tests that'll come in the future. 4 ways to charge. Oh wait, there's 4 ways. There you go, I thought it's 3. AC, solar, auto, which is your car, and double AC and solar. Well, there you go. That's where they're getting the 4th ones. Long life PO4 battery with over 3,500 charge cycles. You know how much I like these life PO4 batteries. So don't get confused with these, with the lithiums, okay? Lithiums are the ones that you see on the news where they're causing house fires, etc., and they're exploding. These are safe, these are protected, they will not have that problem. And it's very important that you do have a backup system like this that are using these type of chemistries, life PO4. Especially if you're going to use them in your car. With the amount of heat that can accumulate in your car, you do not want to store lithiums in there. So you have to be very careful. These battery chemistry and these, the R2500, you will not have that problem. Very safe chemistry in these. Now it's also got Australian plugs, of course, so you do get a manual with it. 4 AC outputs, 240 volt AC outputs, 2500 max, surged 4000 watts, so it will briefly handle 4000 watts of load. USB-C ports, which are very fast, there's 2 of those, and there's also a cigarette lighter socket, and I believe there's also 4, is there 4 USB ports? Yep. And 2 USB-Cs, charging 240 volt input, maximum 7 amps, it'll draw 1500 watts, so you can charge these up to maximum 1500 watts. Solar input, this is interesting, I want to mention this. So you can, it's got capability of solar input between 12 to 150 volts, so what they mean by that, that's the voltages coming out of your solar panels, your open voltages, which you can go up to 150 volts and 13 amps. Now, that 13 amps figure in there, a lot of people get confused with that. People say, yeah, but Phil, you know, I can go up to 150 volts, but it's got a maximum of 13 amps. And they're thinking that this is maximum, will charge the battery at 13 amps, nothing higher. No. That limit is the limit on the amperage output of the solar panel. See, this battery will charge a lot faster. So it's got an MPPT solar regulator built into it. And an MPPT solar regulator, what it does is it converts those extra voltages into amps. So in this case, I believe this is a smallish 48 volt battery in here. Why has it got 48, not a 12? It's cheaper for them, in particular with the cables used. You only need a quarter the size of the cable compared to a 12 volt system. Especially when you are talking these type of wattages that this thing is capable of. Well over upwards of 4,000 watts. Could you imagine 4,000 watts? Something to support that. Through a 12 volt system, you're going to need cables that are huge. You're never going to fit them in here. They'll have to make a much bigger pack. So it's quite amazing on this compact size how they've managed to fit so much power in there. 2 nights ago we lost power here twice. And I just plugged all the fridges, the TVs, the modem, etc., my Starlink and that in here, and my lights, and I kept the house going. We had no problems, not an issue at all. And if it was during the daytime, I can charge with the solar panel, or I can use one of my generators to charge it. That works brilliant that way. So what else in we here can we, car input, 12 volt or 24 volt. So if you've got a 24 volt battery system on a truck, you can charge this from that as well. So dimensions now, it's 458 by 360 by 348, so quite compact. 29 kilos. Yeah, there's a little bit of weight there. You can connect via Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. I connect to it via Wi-Fi. I find it seems to be more reliable than connecting via Bluetooth. So that's what I choose to use. You do have to create an account with ALLPOWERS before you, for whatever reason, I don't know why, to use the Wi-Fi. But once you've done that, it works. Otherwise, you can stick to the Bluetooth. So guys, there we are. Check them out. Big sales going on at the moment. Add one of their 200 watt solar panels, compact, lightweight, easy to set up. Basically got most of the cables. The only thing I ask ALLPOWERS is maybe a longer cable with your solar panels. You basically have to take this outside and put it next to your solar panel in the heat of the sun, etc. and so on. So I would like to see a longer cable. There's more videos that's going to follow on this. I wanted to cover the main points on this. So guys, till next time, mate. Cheers. Bye.